New York City. You are now rapping with 50 Cent. You gotta.
Yo. It's Untouchable Magazine. We got 21 questions with JG right now. Follow him on Twitter, _JustDippin_. It's Kennedy Thrill right now. We're in the basement. Untouchable Magazine. Bow! So once again, man, thanks again for coming.
Thank you for having me, man. Shit. All I can say is thanks, you know.
Untouchable Mag. Tell us where you're from.
I was born in LA and born and raised in LA, and I kind of feel like I grew up in the 707, you know. Moved out here when I was 18, and I've made the biggest push for my music and my brand as a whole out in Northern California. So, yeah.
What was it like growing up in LA?
Growing up in LA was exciting. A lot of crazy shit going around and fucking a lot of distractions, so it was always real easy to fall back on negative things, but luckily, you know, in LA I have most of my family, so you know, with their love and their support, I was able to make it out basically. And like moving from LA, from all, like I said, there's so many distractions out there. Moving away from there, it's like made it possible for me to like really focus on my music and basically make that push that I feel like I need to make.
That's what's up. So if you would have stayed in LA, what would happen?
I met a lot of good artists in LA, and like I said, that's where I really got started. So it's hard to say, you know. I know a lot of people out there in the industry that I still work with. When like I said, I don't necessarily just live in Northern California. I'm back and forth, so all over California. So when I go back, I still work with these individuals. So I don't really think too much would be different, but at the same time, my networking has expanded a lot by having moved out.
How did you make a name for yourself in the industry?
Have I even made a name for myself yet?
Good question.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys have me here, so just putting out pretty much like this last mixtape I put out was like a collection of all my best work over the last couple years, and I didn't really have too much material out, but I think the main component to getting my name out there has been shooting visuals for my songs, you know. Giving the fans a face to the music, and just something to recognize when, just at least something to envision when you hear it. You know, basically just put a picture of the music.
So your last project was 14 Carats, right?
Yeah, that's my latest, newest project, still available for download on datpiff.com/JG. Check it out. I'm not sure that's the right thing, to be honest, but. Just for that reason, Untouchable Mag, I'm gonna have you guys tag the link right underneath the description for this.
What made you choose Skipper from HBK?
It's funny because I just had this conversation with one of the main artists from my camp that I work with, and we were talking about featuring artists for our next project, and I just feel like if you don't really vibe with the artist, and not necessarily like on a personal level, but on a musical level to begin with, if their sound isn't something that you want to play or would enjoy listening to, I don't think you should. You know, you're really in the right position to work with them. So I enjoy listening to Skipper, all the HBK gang. Shout out HBK gang, by the way. Sue. Shout out Skipper, Pilo, Cool John, everybody on the team.
Yeah. What was the setback that you had as an artist?
Starting out, definitely. I guess the financial part is always the most difficult part, because you know, obviously it costs money to shoot music videos. It costs money to book venues. It costs money for studio time. So I think that financial barrier is like the hardest thing to break, because that's what separates you from every other artist. Because there's so many artists. I feel like everybody raps or makes beats or does something, you know, related to the song itself, and what makes you stand out at the end of the day is how much you invest in yourself, you know, how much you invest in your craft. And it's like you see all these big names, like all the names that you see on TV especially, it's like all that money that's behind them is because somebody or even themselves possibly is investing that behind their product. And that's the main barrier, I think. If you don't have the money to push it, you're not going nowhere.
Being that you said that, how do you feel about today's hip hop? Is hip hop, like Nas said, dead or alive? Or are you changing how hip hop is right now?
That's a hard question, because hip hop, just like every other genre, and just like anything else in life, it's just ever changing and evolving, you know. So hip hop would be boring if it still sounded the same as it did, you know, in the 80s and the 90s, you know, even 10 years ago. If we were still listening to the same hip hop, it'd be boring, you know. So I feel like it's not dead. It's a new form, a new wave, you know. It's like the new movement basically, and I think it's good to hear new artists and different kinds of artists bring their own touch to hip hop. You know, that's what it is today, basically.
What genre do you categorize your music as?
I would say California New Bay style, maybe a little hyphy. But like I said, I kind of grew up, like my last 5, 6, 7 years I've been living in Northern California, so my music has been heavily influenced by, you know, what I've been living like the last part of my life, basically.
So as far as your inspiration right now, you would say you're more inspired with the Northern California than Southern California.
I feel like Southern California is kind of catching on to the Northern California sound, and it's just this whole new California sound, California movement. If you hear music from like Atlanta or like Chicago, you know it's like just this sound, you know, it's just a specific sound that comes from that state. So I feel like it's just this kind of hyphy, up-tempo sound that's coming from California right now.
So right now California is it doesn't have a coast. It's all one state.
Yeah, I really
all one sound.
Not necessarily, but I feel like artists are coming just as hard from both Northern California and Southern California, and it's like collective as one sound. It sounds. I think it has a distinct sound, you know, a distinct beat.
Do you think California can get as together as a sound as Atlanta?
I think that it's. I don't think it's possible, just because it's Atlanta's. It's like a smaller state, so the population is more concentrated. There's such a big gap between Northern California and Southern California. Not to leave out Central California, who obviously has artists, you know, making noise in the game and doing their thing too. So, no, I don't think that it'll ever be just one sound, because cultures are so diverse. You know, the state's so damn big. It's just so different. It's a 13-hour drive from Northern California to San Diego, and it's just so many different cultures, types of people, weather, everything is different, you know.
What's your biggest accomplishment as a musician?
I don't think I could point out one specific thing, but I think as a whole, my mixtape dropping and putting out the visuals for it, this has all happened within like the last 5-6 months. So over the last 5-6 months, I feel like that's been the greatest accomplishment, you know, as collective as a whole. Even just sitting here talking to you guys today, it's a big accomplishment, you know. And having somebody want to interview me, that's tight, you know.
So, talking about your new project, you're working on one right now.
Yeah. Currently working on one right now. It's gonna be that new Bay movement, like I said, California sound. You know, I'm working with HBK Gang, working with Skipper, working with Cool John. Got couple beats from YP on the beat. Shout out YP on the beat, bringing that Richmond sound, California, and just overall bringing that to the table, and then just kind of bringing me, kind of growing up in LA a little bit, and it's just like a mixture of sounds, you know. So that's pretty much what I'm working on. I don't have a name for it yet, but thinking sometime around Valentine's Day or so, probably gonna drop that. So.
What year did you start making music? And why? How?
Like rap, hip hop music, I would have to say like my freshman year of high school. But before that, like in middle school, I played drums for the school, and being in the whole music program at school, I kind of just started picking up other instruments there. I taught myself how to play the piano and the guitar, and I don't know how to write. I mean, I don't know how to like read music, but I can put a song together. I can hit a piano, and that just comes like from the background of me having worked with music at a young age, just working with instruments and stuff. And then when I got into high school, just the people I was hanging around with and stuff, just started getting into rapping and making beats. Actually, I started making beats first. That's what I started doing, because I had no confidence in rapping at first. I didn't want to rap. I mean, I wanted to rap. I used to write lyrics like in class and stuff, but I never wanted to spit them out. So I was like, man, I want to make songs, but I don't want to rap. So I'm just gonna make beats. And you know, I just had access to the software, and just started from there. Pretty much started making beats.
Do you remember any of your raps back then in high school? Like, do you use them? Like,
I don't know. I definitely don't use them. But I was listening to like a lot of Ice Cube and NWA type shit back then. So I can imagine probably saying like some old like little gangster type shit. You know, I don't know. Just definitely a completely different style, you know, from what it's turned into today.
Oh yeah. What's any shout outs, man, and what kind of fans follow you, man?
What kind of fans follow me?
Yeah.
I think a variety of people. It's like a variety, fucking. I don't know if I'm reaching so much out to the older public so much, but music is such a universal sound. If you like music, man, I feel like you can vibe to my music. So, yeah, I've seen fans, like, I've seen younger kids that like my music, you know, and I haven't seen too many older folks digging it, you know, other than like my family and like some older people I know, obviously, but yeah. And I want to shout out. First off, I want to shout out the fans, of course, and also shout out to Untouchable Magazine, obviously, for having me here tonight. Shout out to the man that grew this, OG. And like I said earlier, shout out to everybody I'm working with on this new project. You know, shout out Young Retro. That's my boy right there. He's check him out. He's part of the camp, but he's got his own little camp. Everybody that's part of the camp has their own little camp working. You know, so check him out. At Young Retro 85 on Twitter, and shout out the whole HBK gang, Schmop Life. What's up? And shout out all my homies out there, everybody at Humboldt State University, because that's pretty much where it all started. You know, that's where I went there straight out of high school. So all the people that I met there pretty much shaped me into what I am today. And shout out Untouchable Mag, man. Check them out. This is the first issue, but check them out. They're on the rise, man. Check them out, and don't forget to check me out on YouTube, JG Music. Follow me on Twitter at _justdippin_. Follow me on Snapchat at just_dippin. And just look out for new music on DatPiff, Hip Hopzilla, all the websites you could think of, man. Coming, 2015. Yeah.
Music by when? New music by when?
New music by shit. Probably in a couple weeks, man. Couple weeks. But the new project, I'm thinking February. Got a music video dropping on Christmas Day, I'm thinking, featuring HBK, Skipper. Special guest appearance by Cool John, Young Letro, Travi Bands, Jay Taken, Johnny Ruthless. Shout out to people over at SODMG. Shout out CEO Soulja Boy. And that's what it is, man.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah, it's Kennedy Thrill right now. Thanks for tuning in to the first ever 21 Questions with Untouchable Magazines right now in a basement. Bah!